people, I'm doing another video. I don't know why I have this problem or issue with lives. I've never done a live before. I guess it's because when I want to talk about something in a video, it's easier and comfortable to speak in a video format because I can always come back and edit, or I feel free to stop and think, or not to have this pressure of remembering everything and doing it in a flow, like on a live. I will try the live thing at one point, I'm sure, but at the moment I stick with the videos. And it's also a practice for me to share my insights and my thoughts and my processes and my development and my journey and everything in front of a camera and speaking instead of writing, because usually I prefer to write. But yeah, sometimes it's nice to just come up and talk. And I guess if you are my Facebook friend and you see my posts and you not necessarily know me, so then you don't know even how I sound and how I am seen when I'm talking. And it's a very different experience than reading my writing, where you don't even know my intonation or my tone of voice and all these little things. So I wanted to come to this video and talk about 4 things. I like to keep it short. I wrote them down so I won't forget them. And also to tell you that I am going to be interviewed or like a guest in a show, on a Facebook show called A Wonderful Chaos. And it's going to happen on Wednesday, this Wednesday at 12 Amsterdam time. And if you miss it live, you can also watch the recorded replay. And we're going to talk in this show. I'm going to talk with Andy and Bambos about insecurities excuse me, about insecurities, how to overcome them, what to do with the voices in our heads. I'm going to share a lot of personal development tips and processes that I have been through and that helped me with my issues, difficulties, challenges, however you want to call that. So that's going to happen on Wednesday, and I'm going to put a link also for that. So last week I put a video also about personal development, and I was actually very disappointed by lack of reactions or lack of views. I mean, I had some views, but not a lot. Maybe it's because I'm putting videos and not doing the live thing, but I will have to try that at some point as well. But this little crisis made me think about a lot of things and get into conclusions and realizations, like it should be. And I want to share with you what I was thinking and experiencing. So I felt like we are in an era of big data. It's a known name for this era that we're on. It's called big data, and it means that we are exposed to a lot of data, a lot of information, a lot of opinions, a lot of insights, a lot of learning. And when we scroll in Facebook, for example, we can go through so many different pieces of information that we don't even give it any more attention. So it can be absorbed in our brain, but we don't have a reaction to it. We just scroll on, we just move on. And I kind of felt frustrated or not heard by being inside this big data machine. I felt like I post a lot and I write a lot, and these things are very important for me, and I share them from my heart. I see my posting as deep, interesting things and topic that I explore, and I like deep conversations, not superficial ones. So of course, when I'm part of social media has also superficial aspects to it, and I kind of got dragged in it and felt like, oh, this is not the right place for me. I should stop posting, I should stop expressing myself, I should just go back to my hermit cave and stop it. So for the next few days I didn't post a lot as often as I did, and I was kind of examining my relationship with Facebook, and it's also kind of addiction. So I could find myself easily during this lockdown scrolling like 80 or 90% of the day, like seriously addiction. And I had to stop it. I had to see, like, okay, how is my life look like when I'm not scrolling in Facebook or Instagram. And so I made this experiment with myself, and I really actually found that I do much more, or at least I want to do more, and I'm more motivated when I'm not online because the life is outside there. Of course, there is also life online, but a lot of things that I wanted to do are in the real world and not in the virtual world. And it's kind of it still is a struggle, like the balance between the real world and the virtual world, because they are both very imminent in my life and in everybody's life, I think, today. So it's kind of like, I'm looking for the balance, how to consume content, how to post content, but also not to be addicted or too attached to it. And so this is one thing. And then also another thing that came up is competition. The word that I don't like, and I always felt like, oh, I'm not a competitive person. I hate competition. I really am reluctant of it. I don't want competition. I want egalitarian. I want decentralized. I want circular economy, decentralized leadership, egalitarian groups. I don't know. It's like I just don't like competition. But I know that competition has good sides in it, and as anything that we consider bad or good, they have both. And what came up with me and competition is that I felt like, again, this crisis about posting and not getting reactions. I felt like, oh, it's not fair. I think people only react when they see the person has already have a lot of followers or a lot of comments or a lot of reactions. Only then they will comment or react. But if this person that posts only has 2 or 3 likes or even nothing, then even if they read and they have something to say, they won't say it, they won't comment, they won't react, because it's a competition. It's like, it's a hierarchy. Like, whoever has the most number of followers and friends, that's the people we will actually comment on their posts. And we're not gonna waste time and energy on people who just post and don't have likes at all, or just have 1 or 2 likes. It's kind of like something in the brain. I do it as well. I think other people do it, but we're not so aware of it, maybe because it just became part of our life, Facebook and social media and posting and reacting. I kind of felt frustrated that I have a lot of Facebook friends who only see me as a potential customer, or mostly men that just enjoy seeing my pictures but don't really read the content or care about what I have to say. They just want to see my face or my body. Of course, I also have other people who are interested in me and who are my friends, and everybody has their own life, so they don't have time and blah blah blah. Yeah, so a lot of thinking around this, and then I just came to the conclusion that whoever, I felt like I'm being shut. My expression is being shut, but it's not about me blaming other people for shutting my expression. It's me. I blame myself. I shut my own expression by having all these thoughts and all this struggle in my head, and by saying to myself with my critic voice. Nobody wants to hear you, nobody is interested in what you say, you are not an expert, you are this and that, like all these critic voice that come in. And yeah, so that's the conclusion always. Like the person who shut my expression is me, is myself, is nobody else. It's like, yeah, that's the conclusion, like really, exclamation mark, nothing else. That's the conclusion. I'm the only person who shut my expression down. So here I am expressing the hell out of myself, and yeah, I just have to express myself no matter what the reactions are and what these voices and thoughts and limiting beliefs are telling me. Okay, these were 3 things out of the 4 I wanted to talk about. The other thing, the fourth, the last one, is that I want to share with you what I'm working on right now, like what is in my life happening and demand my attention, except the usual, of course, the work and life itself. I like to do a lot of personal development work, and I do it every day. Sometimes it's exhausting and then I have to stop and take a break from it, but it kind of it's natural to me. It's like, again, like 80% of my thoughts or 90% of them are there to help me process and develop and grow and evolve. That's what I find the most fascinating and the most rewarding and the most important thing in my life. So the personal development process that I was taking on myself before the corona started was to be more socialized, to find a tribe, to find a community, to socialize more with people who I want to build or do things together with, and that all sides are getting rewarded by this friendship or relationship. I was looking for that, and then the lockdown started, so basically I couldn't actually join physically these groups that I was planning to join, and then I joined it virtually. So I'm still in this process of examining me in social situations, because I am such an introvert and I'm such a hermit that it's easy for me to be away, to be in with myself and just there, and this enough. And then the socializing part needs a bit of work on. So when I wanted to start and being more active and more social, also it's about being active, because when I'm in my head a lot, but it's head and body, it's all together. It's not only thinking, it's a lot of connections of embodiment, soul, mind, brain, everything. So when I'm in there, I'm not so active. So I can get lost in it, in the processes of thinking and analyzing and coming to conclusions. And the most active thing that I will do is post my conclusion or video it. But I'm not active in the way of like, okay, like the saying, be the change. I mean, I am the change, but the only people that get affected by me are me and my closest friends. And kind of I wanted to extend this circle and to be more active in the world. And then I saw in Wonderful Chaos, this show, there was an interview named Sunny Sangha last week on Friday. It was 2 days ago. And he was so inspiring, and like I was comparing, of course, myself to him, because we compare all the time. It's part of the process. And my comparison showed me that I'm in awe with him of how much he's doing in the world. Well, actually, underneath it, we, like me, I, and him, are thinking the same. We are interested in the same things, in politics, in anthropology, in ecology, in human rights, in living creatures' rights, in like all these things. And he is acting and doing things about it, and I'm like mostly in the realm of thinking and processing, or just talking about it. So this is another thing I want to work on, like to be a bit more active. And again, I wanted to do it before the lockdown. That was my plan, and then Corona came, and made us again like back in our rooms, and I was like, okay, I'm used to it. I'm in my room, I'm in my space, I love it, but now I feel like, okay, enough. I want to be more active and more social. So these are the two things I'm working on these days. Yeah, I wanted to share with you. And so I'm gonna put a link for the show on Wednesday, and that's it. It was nice sharing with you guys. Have a nice Sunday. Bye.